The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show, Backtracks Edition.
You want to begin with the hot new argument that's apparently taken over social media, from what I'm told. I wouldn't know. I'm not on social media. Too many know-it-all derelicts on social media.
I mean, I'm sure, I bet everybody here has feelings on this.
It's pretty hard-hitting. It's a little much maybe for some of you at 5:46 in the God blessed AM, but this is the argument. It involves toasters. Okay. And here's the deal. There are people who leave their toaster out on the counter, so it's ready to use whenever you feel like a couple of pieces of a toast. But there are others who like it to be cleared away after use and stored in a hidden away place, freeing up the counter space. So that's the argument. Which way do you go? Do you keep it on the counter, or do you pack it up after you're done using it and put it in a drawer?
Keep it on the counter.
Get it out of there.
I would say, really get it out of there. Outside of our microwave, the toaster is the most used.
Right.
That's how I dry my socks. That's how I make my toast. That's how we make a waffle.
That's how I cook chicken breast.
I just really like empty counter space.
Yeah, I like a lot of counter space to cook and move around.
So you're saying that when you make a toasted bagel or a piece of whatever, you use it, and then you let the sumbitch cool down, and you put it away summers.
Yep.
You do.
I don't even
I don't know anybody who's done that.
Well, unless you just don't have toast very often. I mean, that makes sense.
I don't have toast often, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's silly.
Maybe like once a week or something we use the toaster.
Yeah, maybe for BLTs.
Well, that's
Yeah.
real.
Egg McMuffins.
Once a week is pretty often, if you ask me.
I think that's a decent amount.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, like, we have an ice cream maker, but we've never even used it. I don't know why. On a whim, I bought this ice cream maker about 4 years ago, and we took it out of the box, and that was it. So that does not live on my counter. You want? I'll give it to you if you want it.
Yeah, I want an ice cream maker.
You can have it. $200. You just heard her say she'll take it.
She's to take it. She's committed.
Bamboozled.
No, if you
Total
really
sucker.
want it, I'll give that to you.
Sweet.
Like I said, we never use it.
And I bet you'll have the same amount of use from it.
Yeah, maybe you'll get
Ashley.
one use out of it. We didn't even get that.
Who the hell wants to sit down and make ice cream when you can drive over to the...
You know, it might have even
That
been
sounds awesome.
longer ago, because it was when our big kids were little, and we thought, oh, this will be a fun family activity. But then we looked at the steps and thought, we're never going to do this. Never going to do it.
I don't get people like that. I got a couple of buddies who will spend an entire Saturday sitting together making salsa. I can't think of anything more pointless when I could drive to the grocery store. They got a big jar of El Paso there for me.
Oh, man. Homemade salsa, though, that slaps.
I don't get involved in any of that homemade. I don't get it.
I've been thinking about making homemade spaghetti sauce and then canning it.
Ooh.
Knock yourself out.
Do it, Wapo.
Ragu's been doing it for effing years. And it'll kick your stupid spaghetti sauce's ass. It's like those donkeys when we were in our early 20s. I had a couple of buddies. You know, they'd show up at keggers. Oh, you guys are just going to drink keg beer tonight. Well, me and Donnie over here. Me and Donnie, we brewed our own beer for the last 6.5 months. It's almost ready. And when it's ready, we'll show you guys. And you take your stupid homebrew beer and pour it into the toilet.
Yeah,
Okay, the folks at Busch Light perfected it.
I can see the appeal for some of those things, salsa, etc. But I do feel like you, Nick, that the folks at Ragu, they put a lot of work into that.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a pretty good system over there.
The friggin' last name is Ragu. The Ragu family will whip up a batch of that. I don't know. Is it for my two buddies who sit there for 16 hours making salsa? I think it's just boredom. I think it's just something to do, and I can understand that. But absolutely, you will never catch me in that situation.
Oh, the new craze is hot sauces.
Oh, is it? I haven't
Everyone's
seen-
making hot sauces.
Meanwhile, Mike's or whatever the hell the guy's name is, the Frank, he knocked it out of the park.
Yep, Frank kind of perfected it.
Oh, but you can do better than Frank. No, you can't.
I think there's some satisfaction for folks.
Here's something back to that toaster thing. So the argument is, do you leave it out or do you put it away? I never considered ever once in my lifetime putting the toaster away. And now that I hear that Wapple does it and Smashley does it, and I have that crippling OCD, now I kind of want to get it out of the way. You know what I'm saying?
Just looking at the counter and seeing all that space.
That's
beautiful.
Wapple,
Beautiful.
that's got me like half-ass aroused.
Well, yeah, I do that with other things, but toaster, we use that too often.
That's how bad my OCD is. Now that I realize it's a thing that I could clear up more counter space by putting away my toaster, I bet it's the first thing I do when I get home today.
It'll change your life, Nick.
Well, here's the deal. You know what I'm going to do the very first time I like to toast a bagel. That's my thing. Is I'm going to grab that toaster before it's cooled off.
Yeah.
And it'll send me reeling across the room, and I'll end up in the emergency.
Well, I have an experience somewhat similar to that. We have 2 strainers, right? And, well, yeah, let me just tell you, Dana, one of them has a logo of a silly business on it. It was given to me, like at a home show or something like that. And the other one, my parents gave me from when we were kids. So don't think these are high tech.
Okay.
He's got 2 strainers?
2 strainers. So the one that has a logo on it, right, from the home show, has a handle on it. And that's the one I usually use. Well, the other one doesn't. It's just like an old school 1970s strainer, and I forgot. You know, usually I'm holding on to the strainer when I pour the mac and cheese in there. And I just coated my hand in pasta water the other day.
Ouch.
I thought my hand was going to fall off.
Oh, steam sucks, too.
And you know, when you do something like that and you feel like you are the dumbest person in the world, or you've just done the dumbest thing in the world at that particular time, that's how I felt. So used to just the handle. You got to get one with the handle.
Yeah.
That is actually would say that slaps.
That slaps. Handle slap.
You know who puts their toaster away? The original tool maker, Jesus, puts his toaster away. You know who else does? Dirt slinging Jesus. He also puts his blender away.
Yep.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
blender-
Boy, I never use a blender.
Yeah, my blender doesn't fit in my cabinets. They're too. My blender's too tall, so that has to stay out.
Tall blender, huh?
There you go. So
I'd never use it too.
I like this stuff on the internet because we're not arguing about politics. You know, I think it's more fun when people argue about which way the toilet paper roll should go.
Oh, hell yeah. You know what, Cubby? We could do this all day. And I think it's because all the news is bad, and it has been for about 2 years now, that people are coming up with odd-ass nonsense to argue about, and I'm all in. I'm all in, because everything else is way too serious.
Well,
and
remember
grown
before it was
folks
almost
so-
annoying.
What was annoying?
Some of these arguments on the internet.
Yeah.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Right.
You know,
Right.
people would just go after each other.
Oh, yeah, that
They get
got-
too passionate about it. But now I like that it's coming back.
I'm with you 100%. Because if we brought up a real topic, adults would show up at the studio, you know, looking to scream and yell and wet their pants over something. I'm with you. It's a nice...
Like if there's an argument over masks, I hope it's Mask 1 with Jim Carrey and then the sequel with whomever was in that one.
Right.
Son of the Mask with
The
Jamie
red-haired
Kennedy.
kid. What was his name?
Jamie Kennedy?
Right. So it seems like 72% of people say, hey, F you and the horse you rode in on, I'm keeping my toaster on my counter. But there are 23% of people who put it away. 4% of people say it depends.
On what?
Deep thinkers
how
there.
lazy
I don't
you
know.
are.
It depends. What did I just make?
The problem with me with putting it away though is because you unplug it, you wrap the cord around, you pull it, and then it looks like a bomb of crumbs went off everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know-
I have to clean ours a lot.
That's
Yeah.
a quick cleanup.
But like
Yeah.
it's almost a daily use.
Oh,
really.
we got people that are losing their minds. What about the knife block? Do you put away the knife block?
No, keep that out.
Heck no.
Knife blocks away, but I just got one of those metal strips that's magnetic.
Oh,
where you
those
can
are
put your
cool.
knives
Ooh,
on.
I want one of those so
Oh,
bad.
I love it. But the odd thing is, I put the toaster away, but the one thing I want out that's gigantic is my KitchenAid.
What's a KitchenAid?
The KitchenAid, like big stand mixers, like that you make dough or cookies.
See, throw that away.
Oh, I want
Why are
that
you
out.
making dough and cookies?
Aren't
Again,
those crazy expensive though?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's also why I kind of want it out, kind of like a showpiece.
Wapple.
Oh,
you ever-
really?
Yeah, like look
Yeah.
at me. I got all the attachments too. What's
See,
up?
I have my machete out as a showpiece.
2 words for you, Wapple. Chips Ahoy.
I have so many friends that have those KitchenAid things that they put them on their wedding registry because everybody gets one, and then they're like, yeah, no, I've never used it. It just sits there.
Yeah, I've used it once because it is incredibly hard to clean in my mind.
I mean, aren't those like hundreds of dollars?
Like $500.
Yes, they are. I just got the pasta attachment.
Here's
I
a guy who says, I like to put my toast. Lately, I've wanted to have my toast in the bathtub.
Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
This person says, I used to put my toaster away every day, before the incident.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
And then there's also in this toaster argument, there's coffee maker, a similar argument on the coffee maker. I have no part of that because I
Never owned one.
I don't drink coffee.
Yep, that's a way.
I don't get involved in that whole coffee bit. Josh knows the story. My first day at the radio station, 1994. First day as an intern. Walked into the studio, and the dude who was running things back then said, first things first, go make a pot of coffee. And I said, how do you make a pot of coffee? It really left a great impression. 23-year-old kid.
I wouldn't know.
No, and they were floored by that. I said, I've never made a pot of coffee in my life. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
The only things we have on our counter are the knife block, the toaster, and a coffee maker. And I know how to make coffee just because my wife drinks it every day.
I still don't know how to make a pot of coffee. Don't care.
It's easier than you think.
I've still managed to screw it up a few times when I used to make it for my wife.
Yeah, I always end up making it way too strong. I don't put enough
If I'm going to
water
drink
in
it,
that
that's
little
how I
water
want
part.
it.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's gross no matter what, so might as well just load it up.
Yeah, I feel you there.
We were talking a few minutes ago about how we are in separate studios. Personally, I can see Wapple and I can see Smashley, but I can't see Dana and I can't see Cubby. The listener has a funny question for me. Do you just keep a picture of Josh in your studio then? Wouldn't that be something? We should all have pictures of each other in our respected studios. And if somebody's gone, likely Ashley, we remove the picture for that day. We take it down so we know who we're dealing with.
That's a good idea.
Just a picture? I want a full cardboard cutout of Josh.
Yeah, life size.
Yeah, life-size cardboard cutout.
Ooh, can you be holding a pillow?
Okay.
With a really crazy look in your eye.
You know what? That's one thing it's in the studio next to me, and that has scared me so many times, that big cardboard cutout you're referring to.
Just, pillows!
There are some questions coming in about counters. Nick, do you keep your VR goggles on the counter?
No, I've got a special place for those.
Are you still using those?
I used them. What day is it today?
Wednesday.
I used them on Saturday.
So you've only used them a couple times?
I watched a movie on Saturday. 4 or 5 times.
Have you played any games?
No, games.
That's a big part of why they were designed. I don't know if you knew that.
You mean like video games?
Yeah.
No, I've watched adult films.
Have you gotten more use out of your Oculus than your PS4?
I have a PS4?
No, you did at one point.
Yeah.
Which one's that?
The one that you played Grand Theft Auto on.
Yeah.
He played that for a while, though.
Well, okay.
The new one, though, I thought he didn't play much of.
Right, you're right, Wapple. There was a time when I had a PlayStation unit when Grand Theft Auto first took off, late 90s, early 2000s. I played the balls off of that. But no, I got a PS something or another.
3 or 4, yeah.
And I watched, I think, one movie and played a little bit of... So probably about a tie. I think I used my PS4 about 4 or 5 times before I gave it to my niece and nephew.
Nice, you're getting some use out of this thing, man.
I've used my VR, yeah. It's funny, I walked into the bar, Saturday, and an older guy that drinks in there was sitting with all these women, and he goes, hey, how's it going with those Oculus VR goggles? I said, I'm not talking about that in mixed company. Love those damn things. But yeah, a few days ago I used them, Josh.
Pretty sweet, man.
Wonderful.
I'm glad you have something. You're not. And I don't mean any offense to this, and I hope this isn't a surprise to you. You're not the most up to date on technology.
No. No, and I take no offense to that.
And now you're pretty high tech.
I'm on the cutting edge.
You really are.
Although it did take me 3 minutes to figure out if I owned a PS4. That was so brief. You know, I didn't know that our listeners were so dialed into what goes on in their kitchens. I spend the least amount of my time in my home in my kitchen. You hit a couple buttons on the microwave, you throw something into the toaster, you unwrap the takeout that you just had delivered to your door. People are texting in ever since we had this conversation about where your toaster goes, on the counter, or do you put it away? People are like, what about my drink maker? What about what else is in here? My air fryer. What about, Jesus balls, some of yous...
I want an air fryer, like a decent one.
Yeah. They're so nice.
They're great.
How much does something like that cost? Just for a regular guy.
You can get a cheap one for like $60.
And that'll work well?
Yeah.
I mean, like, listen to you folks. It's unbelievable.
The Half-Assed Morning Show backtracks. Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
How wrestling really works and how you get the ratings. Eric Bischoff and Conrad Thompson explain on 83 Weeks.
This is indeed the first WrestleMania without Vince McMahon.
It is about as horrible as it can get, but does erasing that history make it any better?
Everybody's being careful not to celebrate Vince McMahon. I think you can acknowledge him without celebrating him. I think that's the double-edged sword that everybody's sort of carrying for now.
83 Weeks on YouTube or wherever you listen.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show Backtracks Edition.
All right, let's close out Randy and Brad's week here. 69 plus 28 episodes ago, we thought about calling this segment the Dork Off. And you're about to find out why. We add one more to the total. Here is this week's edition. It's Dad Fight 69 plus 29. Sing it, Cubby.
Is it Dad Fights?
Yes.
Dad Fights.
How's your phone, Brad?
It's okay, I think. I hope.
Oh, my God.
We swapped the lines.
What are we going to do? I just thought, what are we going to do for 69 plus 31? Are there any preliminary plans in the books here, or what?
For number 100?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's 100. We don't think that ahead of time, Brad Ryder, but you're welcome to join the meetings when we try to figure it out.
Okay, I'll chime in on
Join the meetings.
Brad Ryder, let's check how quickly your phone is reacting to what you're hearing on the other end of it. I'm going to say Cactus Jack, and then you say bang bang as quickly as you. Okay, you following as quickly? Okay,
Yep.
Ready? Cactus Jack. He's exaggerating.
Yeah, he is.
Bang, bang, bang.
Son of a bitch, you.
Try it again with Wapple.
All right, I'll try Wapple now. Cactus Jack. Bang.
There's only one bang.
No, I went bang. It was so quick. It was so quick the ear can barely hear. Oh, there's two bangs.
Yeah.
That was two bangs?
That was two bangs.
Two bangs, bro. Gotta let me bang.
Oh, I do let you bang.
Bang, bro. All right, I just want to bang.
Do we still have audio of when
just
Wapple
really want to bang.
He was crying, begging to let him bang, and Josh comforted him by saying, "I do let you bang." I think we still have that somewhere.
Yeah, we got it somewhere.
Brad, get all of your phone complaints out right now. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
No, there's been a couple of times when Randy's been on the phone. He's not, so we switched over after Wally called. But when Randy's been on the phone and when I've been on the request line, and Wapple knows this, he will admit it if he's under oath that there is a delay.
I'm bored already.
Yeah.
Let me bang. I do let you bang.
Dude.
Let me bang. I do let you bang.
But it's not about who wins; it's about how we play the game, right?
Did you know Randy Shaver's going for 5 wins in a row?
I do know that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the overall record is tied at 38 right now apiece between you two.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe I had fallen behind after this little streak.
We're tied at what? 38 apiece?
38 apiece.
That's it. This is the championship game.
Is this the last one?
Next week, we're going to do a bit called Phone Bitch.
Yeah.
Where everyone gets on their phone and we bitch about what's going on with it.
Actually, I do feel a lot better now that I know that we're tied. I thought it was like way behind. Okay.
Wapple, Cactus Jack.
Bang, bang.
So cute.
I heard
Cactus
the two bangs.
Bang, bang.
Oh, he's on his toes now.
No kidding, man.
Head on a swivel over there.
We were just talking about Sylvia Fowles.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna hang it up. One of the greatest athletes of the last 20 years or so is on her way out. Tennis's Serena Williams. We talked about that a couple of days ago. From what we hear, she's going to compete in the U.S. Open tennis tournament here at the end of the month, and then she's going to close out a career that will go down as one of the greatest. So in honor of their accomplishments today, our Dad Fights topic is the greatest female athletes that we've ever seen. Of all time. Bold North or otherwise. Bold North, South, East, West. Bold North.
North.
Sunday's the big day here in the Bold North as Super Bowl 41. God. We're covering many different sports here.
Okay.
Even one lady who was one of my favorite performers of all time, male or female. That's a bit of a hint. Don't guess now. You might end up ruining everything, and then Wapple's bound to have one of his tantrums, and he'll be way off with the bang bang bit.
So off.
Some of the greatest female athletes of all time. Here's an example question so folks listening at home or at work know how this pig operates. Known as the First Lady of Drag Racing, she was the first woman to receive a license from the National Hot Rod Association to drive a Top Fuel dragster. She won the NHRA Top Fuel Championship in 77, 80, and 82. She won a total of 18 NHRA national events.
No idea.
I don't blame you for not knowing. I don't blame you for not knowing. It's just an example question. Shirley Muldowney.
Shirley Muldowney.
I've heard the name.
The Muldowney name is obviously famous in the sport.
With the NHRA coming to Brainerd next weekend, I thought that would be fitting to throw her into the mix. Now, these days, you got your Brittany Force and your Leah Pruitt and Alexis DeJora and the gal who drives Pro Stock and her name starts with an E. It's not Encarnacion. It's Erica Enders. And I'm probably forgetting a few other ladies who drive Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock. You see what I'm saying? The chicks, man.
Chicks.
Got to look out for the chicks. Today's competition is head-to-head. Gentlemen, your goal is to beat your opponent to the correct answer. If you're correct, where is it? You'll hear the bell. If you're correct, you'll hear the bell. If you hear someone say Cactus Jack, you'll hear Wapple say.
Somebody texted in Wapple and said they're not surprised that you're a quick bang.
Oh, my God.
Just about as fast as I could get the two bangs out.
Josh knows this story. Back in high school, there was a kid that was in my class who was notorious for that. So when he'd walk down the hall, we'd sing the old Motley Crue song, 10 Seconds to Love. 10 seconds! I can't do the Vince Neil thing, but he'll be in town Sunday.
Neither can he.
Happy work anniversary, by the way, too, Waffle.
Oh, thank you.
I saw that on Twitter this morning.
Been here for 10 years. He started when he was 11.
Somebody posted that on Twitter?
Yeah, I threw it up on our morning show Twitter.
If you're incorrect, you'll hear the Costco cheese squeeze. And you'll receive no points. 10 challenges plus a little old tiebreaker if needed. Check out our intro today. Here is Rocket League Grand Champion Jesus to kick this operation square in the crotch.
This is Rocket League Grand Champion Jesus coming to you from the mean streets of Lakeville. I'm a father to one prestigious but inconsequential video game title. What's up, ladies? One cat with gastrointestinal issues that would put Nick to shame, and 0 life.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Our first contestant is a part-time teacher, the 7th string play-by-play guy for high school baseball, and full-time family man who hails from an intersection out west which they call Clara City. His play-by-play calls are so nasty, they've left a trail of dropped panties from Invergrove Heights to Peoria, Illinois. I'm speaking about the lonely boy, Brad Ryder. Our second contestant comes from an unnamed township arbitrarily placed between two cornfields in the middle of Iowa. Weighing in at 435 pounds, most of it in the trunk, Randy the Ass Man Shaver. Get strapped in and hold on tight, because today's matchup features ass versus class.
What?
Teach versus peach.
What?
Peacemaker versus pacemaker.
What?
Social studies versus social security. Wanker versus anchor.
Brad is jacking off.
This is Dad Fights 69 plus 29.
Let's go! All right, who is that again? We got to give that person some more love.
Cubby, that was Rocket League Grand Champion Jesus.
Oh my God.
Awesome.
Wanker
versus Anchor.
I love when he says the title and then he goes, "Sup, ladies?"
He's clever.
That was funny.
Very good, very good.
Now, if he's being serious, what does it mean to be a grand champion? What's the Rocket League?
It's the video game where you're basically playing soccer with cars.
Oh.
It's a very popular game.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Well, that was an all-timer. Thank you. And by the way, if you'd like to be completely overshadowed by that intro and give us a fresh intro, we need your name, your Jesus name, your phone number. You send that to hams93x@gmail.com, and we appreciate it very much when you get involved in the intros. That was outstanding. The greatest female athletes of all time, Dad Fight 69 plus 29. It's Brad Ryder versus Randy Shaver. Here we stink and go.
Cactus Jack.
Bang, bang.
God, he's good.
You're not going to get him today.
This two-time World Cup champion scored 158
Mia
goals.
Hamm.
Bang, bang. Yes, Brad. Wow, excellent. The full question would have been, this two-time World Cup champion scored 158 goals in her U.S. career and has a last name that might make you hungry for a sandwich. Mia Hamm was the correct answer.
My damn, that was fast, Brad Ryder.
Wow, that's awesome. Brad, already, number one.
How you doing, Randy?
Just fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you right there? Did you have it too?
Nope.
Did you guys know that Mia Hamm is married to former Major League Baseball shortstop Nomar Garciaparra?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
I bet they have some handsome children.
I would think so.
I've seen Nomar on that Captain documentary a few times.
Oh, you
Well,
watched
how is
that,
that?
huh?
Yeah.
Is it decent?
Yeah, I like it. It's good. I don't know if anybody else is watching it, but it's good.
I'm going to try to throw a wapple here. Oh, you didn't know?
You better call somebody.
You're like a trained monkey.
Actually, give him a treat. He did a good job there.
Give him a treat.
He likes it when you scratch behind his ears.
Yeah, that was a good cheese.
Here's question
Somebody
number.
give him a treat.
Challenge number 2. You may have seen this gold medalist doing commercials for Subway recently. In fact, her height, if measured in foot-long Subway...
Simone Biles.
Her height, if measured in foot-long Subway subs, would be just over 4.5 subs. She is 4 foot 8 inches tall. Randy Shaver is correct. Simone Biles.
Can't imagine being that short.
You were at one point in your life.
That was great. I loved that so much.
You know, Dana, I've never been high, but that seems like something someone would say if we were all high together.
It does.
I never would have thought that.
Every person has done that height.
If you're over 4 feet 8, you've been that high.
Yeah, so you're a liar,
right.
Ashley. You can't imagine.
I guess so.
Think deep, Ashley.
Do your own research.
And just for the record, Ashley, it's not like you could post her up. What are you, 5 foot tall?
I'm 5'5".
You are not 5'5".
Yes, I am. I'm average girl height.
Well, we're not too far away from a Subway. Let's go get some footlongs and we'll figure this out.
Yes.
We'll measure you up.
Here's a little Danalysis on Simone Biles. She taught herself how to do backflips off mailboxes when she was 5.
Jeez Louise.
Wow.
Try hard.
That worked out for her.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no.
Maybe you should show a little bit more ambition. You wouldn't be sitting here with us.
Maybe I shouldn't have added that in because there's going to be drunk members of the brother and sisterhood. They're going to try to do backflips off mailboxes this weekend.
Did you see what she did when she threw out the first pitch at the Twins game the other day?
Yeah, that was great.
Super
I
cool.
mean,
Really
it's just like it's nothing, no big deal.
We're tied at 1. We're slightly confused, Dana and I, and we're tied at 1. We'll tell you later why we're confused. Here we go.
Brad had a front row seat at Target Center for some of this athlete's best performances, where she would perform.
Lindsay Whalen.
Nope.
Okay.
Where she would perform at halftime on a unicycle while balancing bowls on her head.
Panda.
Oh, we're not going to
enough.
accept that? That's not enough?
Not enough.
No.
Red Panda.
Oh, I don't know. I think, okay, well.
I know who you're talking about. Is
Time out. We leave it up to Wapple. He's the official scorekeeper. Randy said Panda. The answer is Red Panda. Wapple!
Really?
Stone Cold! Stone Cold!
Oh, man. The judges are tough today.
They killed him. As God is my witness, he's been broken in half.
Cactus Jack. Yep.
That was brutal, Wapple.
I can just see Rocco throwing his hat, looking up at the booth. What are they saying in New York? Wow, I guess we're picky today. Red Panda, sure. Who started doing NBA games in 1993 on Thanksgiving Day after an act canceled at the last minute. In 2018, her unicycle got stolen and she had to make a new one using spare parts. After hearing that story, the Golden State Warriors bought her a brand new one.
What a
Always the PR guy wishing Wapple happy work anniversary paid off.
Oh, you buttered the kid up.
That was the hint a little bit earlier when I said one of my favorite male or female performers of all time was going to be involved in this contest. I am the #1 Red Panda fan in the county. I would watch her every damn night. I adore her, and her act is terrific. Greatest show on earth. 2-1 Brad Ryder. Is that where we're going with this?
No.
No, I got it after the fact. So.
Oh,
I guessed Lindsay Whalen.
No. I've simply forgotten the score. I don't
It's
know.
1-1.
Okay, 1-1. 1-1. All right, here's number 4. She was called the 9th wonder of the world. She's the only woman to ever hold the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
China.
Now it's 2-1 Brad Ryder.
Now it's 2-1 Brad Ryder.
That is right, Brad.
Yeah.
The rest of the question would be, but you old perverts probably know her because she posed in Playboy. Yes, China. She was the first ever woman to compete in the Royal Rumble back before they had a separate Rumble for women, God rest her soul. China was outstanding, and just about every female performer credits her as an influence.
Yep.
China. Nice one, Brad Ryder.
All right, so what the
my wrestling knowledge facts are random, but yeah.
Mostly Playboy related.
Yeah.
Sure. I wasn't going to go there.
He knows Sable. He knows Tori Wilson.
Were the Bella twins ever in Playboy?
No.
No? All right.
Unless I have been robbed of something. I don't think so. Wapple, they've never been in. Right?
I don't think so.
No.
Boy, I bet you'd be having a bad day if they were several years ago and you missed it. You've lived all these years without watching or looking at that Playboy.
It'd be like when I didn't know about that naked...
Wrecking Ball.
What's her name again?
Miley Cyrus, the Wrecking Ball
Yeah,
video.
well, I didn't know about that Wrecking Ball video until 3 years after it came out, and it made me mad.
All right, so I'm going to read this question as written. Hopefully
Yes.
that it's less confusing.
I probably should have flipped that around, but
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't
yeah.
worry about it.
So I will read this as written. Josh's softball-loving daughter had a poster of her on her wall growing up of this gold medal pitcher.
Jenny Finch.
Jenny Finch is correct. Time magazine called her the most famous softball player in history. She retired in 2010, but still pops up on ESPN to do commentary during the College Softball World Series.
She is a pretty lady.
Yes, she is.
3-1 Brad Ryder here as we go through the greatest female athletes of all time. We're up to number 7. This speedster.
No, we're at number 6.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Before winning gold medals and World Cups, You could have traveled down 35W and saw her.
Lindsey Vaughn.
Nice.
Nice. Good one.
And saw her.
That Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace.
You could have traveled down 35W and saw her train at Buck Hill in Burnsville. Randy Shaver has made the score 3-2. You're correct, Lindsey Vaughn. On skis at age 2. Well, that ain't nothing. Smokey from Friday, he'd been smoking since he was 2. Her family moved from Burnsville to Colorado in the early 90s so she could concentrate on skiing. And there you go. 3-2. Lindsay, what does she do now? Does she not ski anymore?
No. She's retired from skiing.
Retired. God help us. Is she even 30 years old?
Oh, yeah.
37.
Oh, Jesus balls. What a life.
Isn't she married to somebody famous?
Thomas Vaughn. Well, she was married to him, but they're broken up.
I think with PK Subban.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
They broke up, for Pete's sake.
All right, now we're on question 7. This speedster was a pioneer for women in her sport, and you could always tell it was her by her recognizable GoDaddy car.
Danica Patrick.
I got it.
That was Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danica was in the news recently when she told a story about her then boyfriend doing a bunch of drugs in Peru.
Karen was her boyfriend.
She recently told a story about him doing drugs in Peru?
Yeah.
I missed that. And she's referring to Karen.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Randy, you almost lost a tooth on that one.
I did.
But you were correct. You were first, Danica Patrick, and we are tied. Gentlemen, this gold medal athlete literally did a front flip off the mound recently before throwing out the first pitch in front of her hometown fans at Target Field.
Simone Biles.
It's up to Randy Shaver. Brad is incorrect.
Oh, why can't I think of her name?
For the lead.
I can't think of her name. Son of a buck. I cannot think of her name. The girl from St. Paul. Can't think of her name.
Suni Lee.
Suni Lee.
Oh.
Son of a buck. I could not think of her name.
Which is, and that goes back to why Dana and I were confused when Brad said about Simone.
Yeah, I had the wrong.
Brad said about it.
Unbelievable. I could not think of her name.
You were saying Simone Biles. It was Suni Lee. She's now competing at Auburn University. She's competing at Randy. Take it easy.
God!
Son of a fuck!
Cactus Jack! Bang, bang!
She also appeared on Dancing with the Stars and finished 5th.
Son of a fuck. God darn it. I could see her. I couldn't think of her.
You have to get over it and move on.
We both owe apologies to that family because I confused her with Simone Biles and you couldn't think of her name.
I mean, that's embarrassing. She was amazing.
What's the score, Wapple?
3-3.
We're still tied at 3.
Man, this is exciting.
This is a big one. Yeah.
Dang
almost
it.
done with this contest, too.
Randy!
What?
There's a lot of tension going on, Red Cactus Jack.
Bang, bang.
Some folks say this 2-time NCAA champion and gold medalist was even better than her little brother, who was also pretty
Cheryl Miller.
Nice, Brad.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Who was also pretty good at hoops himself. Cheryl Miller, yes.
Yep, that's a good one.
Danalysis tells me this even came up on an episode of Seinfeld where Elaine kept referring to Reggie Miller as Cheryl's younger brother.
Nice one, Brad Ryder. I like when the games get tight, first and last names become one word. Show me.
Finish it.
This is it. Brad Ryder, if you get it correct, you win. If nobody gets it, Brad wins. If Randy gets it, we go to a tiebreaker. Wapple, to be the man.
You gotta beat the man.
This tennis legend.
Billie Jean King.
Oh, my God.
I got to give you credit. You took a shot.
Talk about just waiting for a fastball.
Oh, dude.
won 39 major titles in her career, or 40 if you count her victory over Bobby Riggs in the infamous, famous, whatever you want to call it, Battle of the Sexes from back in the early 70s, 1973, the Houston Astrodome. More than 50 million people watched that tennis match because Bobby Riggs said, no female can beat me, and then she greased the guy.
Yep.
It comes down to a tiebreaker, Gubby.
Oof.
Kind of nervous.
I kind of think this is going to end in a tie. We'll see. Minnesota Gopher and Lynx legend Lindsay Whalen grew up in what Minnesota town?
I got it.
No, I did.
No.
That was Randy.
Yeah.
No way. I was in third.
Don't let anyone tell you that these dorks don't want to win. I got one for you, Wobble. Wobble. You know, I think it's going to be a nice weekend. Or maybe I might say, I think my favorite color is blue. Or maybe, boy, I think that Randy Shaver is the greatest dad fight competitor of all time.
I don't know.
You would say, it doesn't matter what you think.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Exactly. What an outstanding showdown
That was
today.
a fun one.
Randy Shaver with the incredible comeback. Brad
Thank
Ryder.
you. Thank you.
Unable to hang on to his lead. Randy's won 5 in a row.
I think
I
I'm
am
coming in studio next week.
I am owning this summer.
I'm coming, except for June and half of July when I won 4 in a row. So, yeah.
3.
Randy says this is a hot boy
Dana,
summer.
who's the overall leader now?
You are with 39.
You got that right.
We got to go, you pukes, but it was a great show. We'll talk to you both on Monday.
Cactus Jack.
Bang, bang.
The Half-Assed Morning Show backtracks. Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
What's up, everyone? It's Reality Steve, your #1 source for all things Bachelor Nation and reality TV. Every day, I'm giving you the behind-the-scenes juice and your info on all your Bachelor Nation stories, and also interviewing some of your favorite reality stars. My name has been synonymous with spoilers, but I'm so much more than that. Give me a listen.
The Reality Steve Podcast, part of the Believe Network. Just search BLEAV on YouTube or wherever you listen.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show Backtracks Edition.
There's a thread online where people are talking about the cranky boomer opinions, okay, that they actually agree with. And this isn't the millennial versus boomer thing that was so hot, whatever, a couple of years ago, where everything was okay boomer, and I can't remember all the gimmicks that went along, but I think most folks know what I'm talking about. There was that big boomer versus millennial trend for a while. This is a little different. People are talking about the cranky boomer opinions that they actually agree with, and it's people of all ages who are validating boomer takes, as they say these days.
Ooh,
takes, okay? See what you think of this.
By the way, real quick, the brother and sisterhood, our brethren, tell me that we're Gen X.
Okay.
That sounds cooler.
Appreciate all your help. I will forget that by 7 a.m., I'm sure. I don't know why. I can't keep track of all that stuff, but thanks for... We are Gen X, meaning you and I?
You and I, yeah. I believe we're both same generation.
Okay, then just for the record, what about the younger people here?
I have absolutely no clue.
I'm a millennial.
I'm a millennial.
And then I think Ashley is Gen Z, they call it.
Okay. Dang, I made myself younger than I am.
Right. So, I mean, the youngest person here is Ashley. She's what, 25?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Wapple
Gen Z.
is 30.
Mm-hmm.
Dana's 37 or 38.
37.
Cubby is...
47.
God, you're still so stinking... I thought you were closer to... I'm 51. but we collectively we are 3 different groups.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's cool.
That's effing me up. Okay. Boomer opinions that people of all ages agree with. Here are 10 keepers. People share way too much on social media. That's a boomer take, but everyone agrees with it. And how could you argue that? Social media is such an absolute flaming pile of garbage.
Okay, Gen Xer. Jeez, listen to this guy.
Oh, you just got roasted.
No, it is crazy how much people share on social media. I mean, there's people in my life that it kind of surprises me.
It's just garbage, me, listen to me, look at me. I can't stand it.
I got to say, I even find out stuff about my family from other people who are like, yeah, I saw so-and-so posted this on Facebook or whatever. Or, hey, I hear you got this coming up. I'm like, how the heck would you know something like that? And then I find out it's on social media.
Here is my favorite thing about social media, and I bet you every one of you knows somebody like this. Everything they talk about relates to social media, right? You run into them at the bar. You run into them at a ball game, and they say, hey, did you see that Donnie got married? And I would say, oh, no, really, Donnie got married. And they say, yeah, saw it on social media. You'll run into them 2 days later. Hey, did you hear about that story in Minneapolis? And you'll go, no, I didn't hear about yeah, a guy did this and this. And then I might say, well, how'd you find that? I saw it on social media, okay? So everything that they bring up is related to social media. And then I will ask them, hey, I heard on social media someone was saying this or this, and they'll say, I never look at that stuff. Or you'll call them out for being a social media person, and they go, I never look at that. I'm never on Facebook. I don't even know what you're talking about. It's a weird deal where they will volunteer all this social media information, but if you ever call them a social media fanatic, they will deny it down to the last second. You guys don't know anyone like that? Maybe that's an older person thing.
No.
Yeah, I just don't deny it. Like, yeah.
Okay, maybe it's because...
But I could see somebody like on their Snap story complaining, can you believe this guy said that I'm a social media whatever?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm actually, my youngest, I've had to scold him a couple times because he likes to watch some YouTube stuff, and then he'll throw out like a not necessarily inflammatory statement, but just a statement on something. Like the other day, he said, Apple hasn't had any new ideas in 10 years. Or something like that. I'm like, oh, excuse me? Are you the tech expert in the house? I'm like, please go on and explain why you came up with this opinion, because I'm sure you came up with that opinion. I'm like, just curiosity. Explain this to me.
Basically just quoting what they read.
Right. And he's done that a few times, and it drives me nuts. And maybe I shouldn't get that irked about it, but I can't stand that when somebody throws something out, they don't really know why. They saw it somewhere. They have nothing to back it up.
I hear you.
And you can argue point for point, but they don't really know. So I'm like, you got to stop doing that just because some 16-year-old kid that likes the same football team as you brought this up on YouTube.
That's a beautiful thing right there. I'm glad that you call him out for that. I don't care how old you are. You should be called out for stuff like that. Don't be just spraying statements around town with nothing to back it up. All right, another one of these boomer opinions that everyone agrees with. Screw touch screens. I want physical buttons, especially in the car.
No, I like my touch screen.
Oh, I see what you're... Yeah, you know what? I always wanted everything to be a touch screen before a lot of things became touch screens. I like a little of both, but I know what you mean about having knobs and dials, and maybe that's the same thing, and buttons in the car for sure. You know, you don't want to be staring at your screen there.
I guess all I can say on that subject is I've got a touch screen in my motor vehicle, and, I listen to music. You guys like music?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been doing tune in occasionally.
And when I try to change the song forward or backward, I got to take off my gloves.
Oh.
Like in the wintertime. I guess that's a small inconvenience. Other than that, I don't really care about touch screens versus physical.
But like turning up the fan on the heater or something. Instead of going through menus, I'd much rather have, something I can turn or press.
Okay.
Easy, like a button.
That's a different kind of a spin then, sure.
Like electric vehicles, how it's just a giant iPad in a lot of them. That's something, that's like, there's a few reasons I'm not ready for an electric vehicle, but that's one of them.
I've never been in an electric vehicle, so there you go. Boomer opinion that everyone agrees with, going to concerts and everyone has their stupid phone up in the air.
Yeah, I hate that.
That is annoying.
I will never own an e-reader. Nothing compares to a real paper book.
Oh, I much prefer an e-reader, actually.
E-reader?
Yeah. I agree with them. I prefer actual books. I actually like, I'll specifically only get hardcover, too. It's better than paperback.
Okay.
I'm like
Makes me feel cool.
I'm an artist's dream or an author's dream because I'll buy the hardcover and then I'll still buy the ebook. And then sometimes I also buy the audiobook.
And then go to the movie.
Yeah.
When it
and
turns into
wait for the movie.
That's awesome.
I prefer to read the e-reader, on my tablet or whatever. But if it's a book that's something like I care about that I want to put on the shelf, say, like Dave Grohl came out with a book recently. Like I wanted to own that, have a physical copy of it, just to have.
That's how I feel. So I don't really read. I like having. You can have a ton of books on there for whatever you're into, and you just carry around this e-reader.
Is an e-reader just like your laptop computer?
Laptop, phone, tablet, anything like that, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, like Amazon, they make their own that are the Kindle, which is very popular. And some of them are they almost look like pieces of paper.
I'd have to see one to fully understand it, I think, an e-reader. Maybe I'll try one someday. I don't know, maybe when Sami Zayn writes his autobiography, maybe I'll read that on an e-read. I want to read articles online without entering an email, creating an account, and giving out my phone number, say boomers, and most of us agree with that.
Yeah, that is the worst.
It's a pain in the butt.
I want to speak to a real person on the phone when I have to call a business. Automated customer service lines are the worst.
I kind of like not having to talk to someone.
I know what you mean to a certain extent, but there's some times where they just do not let you talk to a real person.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're just going to rage like, let me talk to a person.
Or like you'll go through, is it this? Is it this? Is it this? And everything is no. That's not your issue.
All right.
And my doctor's office even is trying to push more video visits. If they ask you to schedule online. Like I called and they're like, we're going to send you a text message with a link to schedule online. I'm like, okay. So I do that and they're like, how about a video visit? I'm like, nah, I should probably go in for this. How about a video visit? They just keep. And I was telling Nick this off the air. I don't think I told you guys this. So I scheduled the video visit with this doctor last week when my ears were all messed up. And she's like, well, it's kind of hard. She's kind of almost rude about it. It's a little hard to diagnose your ears over a video visit. I'm like, yeah, tell me about it. I called. They said video. I went online. It made me do video. I did whatever I could.
You were just following orders.
Yeah, I just did what they told me to do.
Hey, this wasn't my idea, lady.
No,
I do a video visit.
I was ready to come in.
Isn't it something that doctors' visits are now video visits? And Cubby's latest problems were with his penis and the insides of his ears.
Yeah.
That makes for a real comfortable video visit with the doctor.
I'm a little worried about that. I had to make a penis visit follow-up, and it's video.
When is this happening?
End of February.
Link me in on this.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering,
on my e-reader.
What if he asks to see it? I can't do something like that.
You got to haul it out, son.
I can't. Not over video.
Whip it out, man.
Unleash the fury. Another boomer opinion that all generations agree with. Paper menus are far superior to QR codes.
Remember how confused we were the first... I was with you the first time we did that, and luckily we've got some hip, trendy bosses in this building that we were with.
Dude, Josh and I are at a bar restaurant. We're waiting on a couple of the big bosses. You guys don't have to worry about it. It's the kind of meetings you guys will never be invited to. And we're waiting on the two big bosses to join us for a dinner date kind of a thing, and we're sitting there forever, and I think you said, why has none of the staff brought us a menu yet? And I was thinking the same thing. We've been sitting here where's the menu? And there was some kind of a squirrely design on the table. Was that what happened, Josh?
Yeah, it was a QR code on the table.
And I said, I have no idea what to do with this.
We got to say, this is one of the first times we'd gone out after the pandemic. This is shortly afterwards, where restaurants were back, and I didn't realize, and I only go to casual, pick it up at the door or sit there for 5-minute places.
Burger King, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And so this was actually a restaurant, and I hadn't seen that yet.
I had no idea what we were supposed to do, and then someone
I thought it was
said
kind of cool,
you
but
point your phone at it or something. I still don't know what to do. What?
I would love to.
You use your camera.
Yep.
My camera?
Yeah, and then like a little
and then
thing
a link
pops up.
pops up, and then you hit the link.
Oh,
Yeah.
how stupid.
I kind of
agree.
I thought that was cool, but I do agree with this, that if I had the choice, I'd probably rather have a
Give me a
regular
menu.
germ-filled menu.
Yeah, cheese sandwich, BLT, whatever you got.
I would love to have video footage of you two trying to figure that out.
I had no idea what was going on.
Well, I'm somewhat techie, but
You
I was.
are, yeah.
I didn't know that technology or I knew the technology existed, but you go somewhere and you can scan something and learn, like a Home Depot or
Yeah,
something,
sure.
learn about it. I didn't know they were doing that with menus.
This must be a question that, this is a question that you folks are going to have to handle. A question that came in from a listener. They must have been inspired when we were talking about e-readers. What are your thoughts on e-tabs? What the hell is that? What are
At the
e-tabs?
bar.
pull tabs?
Pull tabs on the little screen instead of the
Oh.
actual
Yeah,
cardboard.
they give you like an iPad and you can play online pull tabs with it.
Yeah, I refuse to play those. I don't know why. I just think that you don't get lucky on them.
Never saw it.
That is really surprising.
Yeah, the bar that I drink at doesn't have pull tabs, and if I ever go to a bar that has pull tabs, it's just a very unhappy person behind a counter with a bunch of plastic boxes. So I don't.
Usually they keep them behind the bar. You ask the bartender for it.
I know nothing about e-tabs. Sorry, but it sounds like Ashley is not a fan.
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
The last time I played pull tabs, we were at a promotion for the station, and I was hanging out with Medical Device Jesus and some of his derelict buddies. And they're like, hey, we got a bunch. You want to pull some of these? I'm like, nah, I'm not really into it. I got bad luck, all that kind of stuff. They're like, no, you just give it a shot. So I opened the first one. I won like $300, and I think they were kind of mad at me. I mean, I didn't keep the money.
Yeah.
They were very cool. Like, hey, you opened it, you get to keep it. I'm like, no, I'll give it back. But I couldn't believe my luck. I never win at those things.
Yeah, that's
ever.
awesome.
Here's a few more text messages that have come in on all this talk of boomer opinions. Now, I mentioned that in the winter, I'll often wear gloves while driving. I'm always cold. Always cold.
That is true.
So I'll wear and when I want to touch my touchscreen thing to maybe put on a Mr. Big song, it's sometimes a problem. I got to take my gloves off. Here's a listener claiming I don't know if he's messing with me. I mean, he knows I can't figure out QR codes or e-readers or anything. So he says you can get a pair of touch screen gloves.
Yeah, they make those.
I have
Oh, my
a pair
God.
of those for snowboarding. It's nice.
Why do you need touch screen gloves for snowboarding?
It'll work on your touchscreen. So you've got gloves on still.
Well, yeah, but why do you need them for snowboarding?
Because then I can change the song on my phone.
Oh, you've got
without
your
taking
phone.
my gloves off.
You
Yeah.
got your phone in your pocket while you're and you're listening to music.
Yeah.
Or music. Is it ever Mr. Big?
Not yet. No.
For sure, and Ashley doing like a 1080 while listening to a Mr. Big song.
There you go. Touch screen gloves, Josh?
I don't have any, but I could see the value there. I know I've been, using the what do they call that? That my words are escaping me. Where you got snow on the driveway, you don't want it on the driveway, so you operate a snow blower. Yeah, there we go. I know there's times I want to change something up on my phone on the snow blower, and I got to take my phone out and take my glove off.
Here's a listener who is quoting a boomer. His grandpa. This listener says his grandpa recently said, "I wasn't put on this planet to drive a car that doesn't run on gasoline." All right, some more boomer opinions that everyone agrees with. I don't need a smart refrigerator or toaster.
I agree with that completely.
Well, I wouldn't mind having a smart fridge or
smart fridge would be
or
cool.
one of those refrigerator ovens. Have you guys heard of those?
No.
I don't even know what a smart refrigerator or smart toaster is.
Well, a smart refrigerator, you can have basically like an iPad on the front of it. It can do a lot of different things, but...
And you can see inside of it.
Right.
Waffle, adults are trying to talk here.
You can see inside of it.
You
on
can
your
see
phone.
inside of it.
Yeah, you could be like, am I out of milk? And then you go to your phone and you can see inside your refrigerator.
Right,
It's
and sometimes
awesome.
it can tell you like what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Oh, for
you just say,
Christ's
"Here's
sake.
the normal things."
Are you guys serious?
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, like
and then some you can even order it on your fridge.
Yeah.
Or order what on my fridge?
Milk,
Groceries.
or eggs.
Oh.
Yeah.
My God, you're just thrown by this,
Dude,
huh?
anything in the kitchen, I'm all for.
That's
You're
true.
You're a foodie.
Yeah, you are a foodie.
Like having Alexa in the kitchen changed my world.
You just pissed off a lot of people by saying that trigger word.
Yeah, having that device in the kitchen, so you'd be cutting stuff up, or your hands got you have a bunch of stuff on your hands, and then you just, hey Alexa, switch the song.
Do you have one of these?
Oh, I did.
Do you have one of an e-fridge? What is it called again?
No, I want one.
A smart fridge.
Do you have? You don't. Well, then you got to. I mean, maybe if you get yourself one, you'll calm down a little bit.
Maybe,
So-
or I'll be talking about it more.
But these refrigerated ovens. So let's say you got a lasagna, right? You put it in the oven when you go to work.
Is it Stouffer's, as my dad would say?
Yeah, Stouffer's.
It's a Stouffer's lasagna?
Yeah, for you, it's got this, it's the one you like, the vegetarian vegan version.
Ooh, gimme. Yeah.
So you put it in your refrigerated oven. And then you say, I'm going to be home at 5:30, and I'm going to need some nice Stouffer's lasagna. And then it turns into an oven and cooks it for you.
Sounds like a great way to burn my house down.
Or if, something lightly, like how women just approach you and say, hey, bed me. And so you're like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to be rude.
Yes.
So maybe you go to this lady's place.
Okay, now I'm at a lady's place.
And then you got to get on your phone and say, hey, oven, I'm not going to be home for that lasagna. Just keep it cool, baby.
F me running.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I like that.
Using apps for everything pisses off not just boomers, but all of us. Using apps for everything. It says here, for example, like going to Disney World and not being able to do anything, including eat, unless you use the app.
Yeah.
When the Wild switched over to having where the digital, where you have to go onto the NHL app and then you have to
get
go
the
on,
tickets?
Yeah, and
I hate
Those
that.
tickets, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, how are old people ever going to get to the Wild game?
Dude,
the only thing I like about it is if you can't use your tickets, it's easy enough to transfer them to somebody else.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Versus having to meet up with them or something like that.
I don't know. Wapple, I deal with that with the Timberwolves and the Golden Gopher basketball and the Twins.
Well, that's
and I love all those teams, and I'll always support those teams, but I don't like the nightmare of downloading this or that. I don't know what I'm doing, and I get pissed off.
And the thing that sucks is all those teams use a different app.
Yeah.
So then you have to download 3 different apps.
Yeah.
Well, and I
then
think
you're like, wait, the Timberwolves use AXS? What is it?
I don't know why we just can't hand out regular tickets.
And I miss collecting like the physical ticket stubs because I was a dork growing up that would save all my ticket stubs, especially
yeah,
to
there's something to that.
big concerts or big games that I went to. Like I still have them all.
Now take a selfie,
I think
prove that you were there.
with a lot of our giveaways now, it's done that way. So if we give away tickets to something like, let's say, a third place game, old joke, people, I think some people are like, well, wait a minute, I got to get this app in order to win tickets. Well, that's kind of how it's done nowadays.
But then the cool
And then
thing-
Wapple can't sell tickets on the side that he gets from the station.
They totally got my side hustle
His
gone.
income has been reduced significantly.
Well, and then a lot of the times, listeners don't have to come to the station now to pick up tickets. Too.
That's a positive, right?
That's a big positive. I'd
We
say.
don't want you people in our building.
for your own sake, you don't want to see this.
Yeah, it'd be embarrassing for us if you saw where,
And it
where
really
we
is.
actually work.
It really is kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's confusing to get to. So yeah, that part's nice.
The half-assed morning show backtracks. Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Our technicians are geared up and ready to make sure your system is running reliably this summer. Regular maintenance from Standard Heating helps prevent costlier breakdowns in the future, and we know they always happen at the worst times.
Summer's coming, but don't sweat it. Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.
Named one of the best personal finance podcasts, The Stacking Benjamin Show with Joe and his friends makes financial literacy fun.
Let's hear another success story. This one comes to us from Stacker Derek.
You guys are the best, and it's because of you I now understand retirement accounts, money in general, and how poorly the guests are treated when they show up. I really don't know where I would be without you. Thank you for $1,500, and here's to another $1,500 if Doug can survive that long without pay.
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show Backtracks Edition.
Go ahead. One of you flex on me real quick. Give me a flex. Tell me a flex. See, I don't even know how to say it. How should I say that? Does everyone know what it means these days to flex?
Yeah, kind of bragging about something.
Right, bragging. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Brag about something. Flex on me.
The other weekend, I had to wear some dress clothes, which is a very rare occurrence, as I don't have very many.
You are so uncultured.
And I decided, I thought, I'm like, well, let me try on the pants I wore in my wedding that have not fit, I think, since the day after the wedding. I was able to get them on and get them strapped up.
Nice.
Fit into them. Felt pretty good.
You were able to wear the same pants you wore at your own wedding. Mm-hmm. How many years afterwards?
It's probably 5 years now.
Congrats.
There you go.
That is the best feeling in the world. Like every summer when it's time to try the shorts on again.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I'm like, oh gosh, what's it going to be?
Deep breath.
Yep.
They buttoned.
Oh my gosh, they fit.
All right, what about a weird flex?
Oh, I like
well,
that.
I could easily out-eat any one of you.
Yes, you could.
Easily. It wouldn't be a challenge. And I bet I could probably, you combine, well, I'd want to pick. Nick for sure, and then I'll say Ashley.
Yeah.
I bet I could out-eat the both of you.
I'm not a big eater.
That's my weird flex.
Not a big eater.
Weird flex, but okay.
Well, that's what we're saying.
That's what we're talking about.
He asked for a weird flex.
I did ask for a weird.
Otherwise, I never would have said anything.
Off the top of my head, if I were to dump a weird flex on you, I would say that, and I've proven this before live on the radio, I can name any Kiss song that they created between 1973 and 1992. I can name any of them in one note. All you have to do is play me the very first note of the song, the very first split second of the song, and I can name it.
I could probably do that for Def Leppard from Adrenalize and previous. Anything after that, I'd have some trouble.
So basically between about 80 and 92.
Yeah.
Weird flexes.
I have a weird flex.
Oh.
It's the first thing that popped in my mind.
Hit us with it.
I can shave my legs in like a minute.
You can shave your legs in a minute.
Yeah, I'm really fast at it.
Well, see, I know nothing about this. What would be the average time for someone shaving their legs?
I've hung out with my friends before and watched them do it, and they usually fill up the bathtub and it's a whole process. Usually 15 minutes.
Do you dry shave?
No.
Is that what makes it so fast?
No, I'm just get it done.
Well, there you go.
Ask my wife. I can climax before any of her previous boyfriends. Way before.
Dude, that's awesome.
10 seconds to love. 10 seconds to love. For you Motley Crue fans, there was a guy at our high school that was notorious for being a quick shooter. So when he'd walk down the hallway, we'd sing him that song, 10 Seconds to Love. I bet you can finish before all the others, Josh. Absolutely. Here are some weird flexes. Go ahead and text us a weird flex, if you like. 651-989-9393. I'll give you an idea of some other weird flexes, and that might help you out. Can get rid of hiccups on demand without fail. If I have hiccups, I can just think about it and they go away.
That's a skill I wish I had.
I can get rid of them.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How do you do it, Cubby?
It's kind of like a combination of holding my breath and just concentrating hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, that is a great skill to have because
I never would consider it a skill, I guess, but I can definitely get rid of them right away. And I mean, if my wife gets them or my youngest, they're lasting for a long time.
Go ahead and call it a skill because when I pick up a case of the hiccups, when I catch the hiccups, it's a miserable experience. A bartender showed me a trick. Now it's been so many years I forgot. Some kind of a drink. Is it bitters?
Yep, bitters on a lemon.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Weird flexes. I have 4 nipples.
Ooh, where are they?
Are they? Is this a human? I know someone with 3.
Yeah, 3's nice.
I've never met anybody with anything more than that.
I see some weird flexes are coming in via the text machine. That's wonderful. 4 nipples is the last one.
Tree Master Jesus said, I can saber champagne bottles and open beer bottles using other bottles. Basically, I'm really good at creatively opening bottles.
That's cool.
That's
that
pretty
is
sweet.
cool.
I like watching people when they do that.
He can what? Saber?
Yeah, I'm assuming he means use a sword
to
cut the top off.
To pop the cork.
Oh, come on. He really can do that? Jesus. Don't get too loose with that sword, for God's sake. It's frightening. I can tell myself what time I need to wake up, and I will awaken within 1 minute of that time without an alarm.
Whoa.
You know, if I nap, it's weird. I almost nap exactly on the hour, within a minute on either side. Like from the last time I look at the clock, specifically. It's really weird, and it's consistent. I don't think I've ever been surprised with how long I slept or woke up super early.
That is interesting.
So your naps always last like 42 minutes or something like that?
Well, he said an hour.
About an hour.
Oh, okay.
Is there a trouble with understanding with the words that are coming out of me and Josh's mouth?
Nah, sometimes.
I'm just busting your balls. Don't panic. We were just talking recently about Dana, Josh, you sorry bastards, you wake up so early even on your off days.
Yep.
That's impressive, Josh. I don't know if I'd call it impressive. Interesting that whenever you nap, it's almost square on the nuts 1 hour.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, within 1 to 2 minutes tops on either end of that exact hour.
Like I've said before, when I fall asleep, doesn't matter if it's the middle of the day or at night, when I fall asleep, it's anybody's guess. Anybody's guess when I'm going to wake up. You have to wake me up. I could sleep for days.
Lake Street Handshake Jesus can spend his entire paycheck in about 20 minutes with all the bills he has.
Yeah, that's the best.
Weird flex.
That's a common skill, especially nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Another weird flex, I can always pick the exact right size container to put leftovers in.
I've surprised myself before by really screwing that up.
I don't think I've ever screwed that up. But maybe it's because I spend I like cooking and stuff, so maybe that helps.
I almost never have leftovers. I just like to eat and, as I mentioned, sleep. Another weird flex, I can read hieroglyphics, ancient Greek and Latin.
That is sweet.
That's cool. You know, you guys could tell me you could, and I would believe you.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to proofread or correct us or anything.
Well, he said it.
I'm going to start telling people that I can.
Gold Star loser Jeebus said his flex is he can bore a person in 20 seconds.
Oh, I have a blue mole. Everyone thinks it's blue highlighter that I somehow got on my forehead, but it's a blue mole.
On the forehead, too.
That's interesting.
Oh, wow. I don't know. I can't read this next flex because it gets kind of dirty. I can play the intro of Thunderstruck on guitar with only one hand, but not with two. Is our latest weird flex. Well, that's how Angus does it in concert, so why would you even want to try to play it with two? I am completely immune to plants that are poison to the skin, poison ivy, poison oak, etc.
Interesting.
This is really fun and fascinating. I wish we would have started this topic a long time ago. We got on the conversation of flexing, bragging, and then it evolved to a weird flex. What's a weird flex that you have? We turned it over to the brother and the sisterhood, and they've been sending us their text messages. What are some of the weird flexes you've heard, Josh? Because I can't get enough of this.
Well, this would be a great one from Telcom Jesus. Weird flex. I'm immune to mosquitoes. No bump, no itch, nothing.
Whoa. Is that right?
That would be awesome.
Wow. I've never been more jealous of a person in my life.
Immune to mosquitoes.
I get ate up. Like, I look like I have a disease in the summer.
Well, you're delicious.
Yes. You see, I have barely been bothered by mosquitoes the last couple of years. Maybe something has changed about me or them. But
as an avid indoorsman, I'm good. I don't have to worry about it too much.
You don't have a problem.
Every once in a while we get a stray, but I'm fine.
That makes me think, I noticed the other day, ticks don't like me.
Ticks?
That's good.
I've never had a tick.
That's really good.
I've been in situations where I definitely should have had quite a few ticks. Like up in the boundary waters, stuff like that. Nope.
I try not to give them a reason.
I keep a leech on me at all times because it keeps the ticks away. Dead from the waist down Jesus has a caved-in chest which he can use like a bowl if needed.
Oh, yeah, I've seen one of those before. How about the chest bone on a dude that bubbles out?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
There was a kid that I went to school with. The kids in the hall called him Chicken Chest. Anyway, go ahead.
Let's see. Cracking Skulls Jesus. I cannot care about people's issues with ease. Siblings fighting, girlfriend crisis. I can just tune it all out without even trying.
It's got to be nice not making anybody else's business your problem.
I just had a buddy tell me that I'm the complete opposite in a bad way. He's like, why does everybody else's moods affect you? Why do you care? Yeah.
You?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a magnet for that kind of thing.
So someone else's bad mood...
I feel it. Not like I'm going to be in a bad mood about it.
You're
but
very sympathetic.
Yeah, maybe that's
Yeah, there you go. You're very sympathetic.
Or maybe it's just the pathetic. Demands respect electrician, Jesus said, I can tell the voltage of electricity by how bad it hurts when I get hit with it. He's getting hit with electricity a lot.
This guy's tough.
South Haven, Lake Living Jesus. I can mishear song lyrics like no one else.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to hear some of the keepers. You know, let us know. Let's see. Youper Jesus. I meant Youper Jesus. I sometimes have such vivid deja vu that I'm able to predict what will happen or what people will say for the next 10 or so seconds. It's weird, and it's completely at random.
You can predict what they're going to say.
I guess.
Oh.
Sounds like something that should be on a Netflix special or something.
Barsaw Jesus can translate biblical Greek and Hebrew.
Really?
I'd love to be able to. I mean, how impressive would that be? Would you swoon, Ashley?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I like that kind of stuff.
Up at the crack of dawn, Jesus said, I can make a woman laugh uncontrollably just by getting naked.
Oh.
Boner Bear Jesus can hold his breath for 1.5 minutes.
Boner Bear Jesus. 1.5 minutes? Is that?
Yeah. That seems pretty good.
I can hold my breath for like 20 seconds, so...
Try go as long as you can
do
right
more
now.
than 20 seconds.
Wapple, you got a counter there, right?
Yeah, I can time it.
All right, let's
ready?
hear it.
1, 2, 3.
Little Village Jesus said he can drive and operate anything. That's an impressive one.
Drive and operate anything?
Yeah, anything.
Jesus Christ, I have trouble with my own vehicle.
What it do, Jesus said, every poop, it's a one wiper.
Oh.
And he said, it doesn't even matter if it needs more. It's always a one wiper. Ashley, still going? Where are we?
I'm good.
20 seconds.
Oh, my gosh, it was 20 seconds. Ashley
You can hold your breath longer than 20 seconds
I'm
for
really
Jesus.
bad at it. I don't know if it's like all the weed I smoked in my life or what it is, but yeah, my lungs are weak.
You pick him up. You dropped him, Jesus says. His weird flex is his daughter's been able to do the alphabet backwards since she was 8. Is that like training her to get out of a D-dub or something?
That could come in handy.
Wow.
Poop pumping Jesus uses his stutter to his advantage.
What does he mean by that?
Yeah, I'd like to know more on that too.
How do you use your stutter as an advantage?
I think stutters are so cute.
More anxiety than hair, Jesus. Weird flex. I can make myself wild with rage, coming up with random scenarios in my head of things that will likely never happen.
I think we all get in our own heads at times like that.
Definitely.
You know, and I know, Nick, you love talking about our old guy, Ross, but there was our former producer, Ross, if you're a newer listener, interesting guy. I love him to death, but he's definitely a different dude. There was one time he's like, hey, do you guys mind if I take the rest of the week off? I got something he had to do with his sister. And we're like, yeah, that's cool. And he started yelling at us. Were you in the studio, Ashley?
No, I wasn't.
Because he had a whole fight in his head of how it was going to go.
He thought we would argue him taking a day off. So he began to argue.
I mean, he blew up.
And we hadn't said a word.
Yeah, we're just like, yeah, dude.
Other than yes. We had said, yeah, go ahead, go see your sister. And he said, well, it's not as if I take many days off. It's just, and we said yes, you moron.
Yeah, so family doesn't mean anything. We were like, dude, we said go ahead. That was great. So more anxiety than hair, Jesus. Unfortunately, you're in bad company.
Yeah, right.
HVAC delivery Jesus has gone potty in 5 separate toilets today.
Whoa.
I like the variety.
Somebody's not feeling well.
I want to know when he got up. That'd be more impressive, like just got up at 8.
Yeah, right.
5 times.
Tears are my lubricant, Jesus. When it's soft, I can make the tip touch the base. The tip touches the base.
Oh, I see what he's saying. Yeah. Sure.
This person said he had a friend in high school who always claimed he could kill his boner on demand and was very proud of it. I think, don't most of us have go-to thoughts to try and get rid of one?
Do you really?
I know I do.
What's your go-to thought?
I don't want to share.
Oh, I can't. Okay.
I guess I've never tried just using my brain to kill a bone ski. I've always just used the elastic trick. Mm-hmm.
Choke it. You just wait it out?
You strangle it to death.
Oh.
Yeah. With the uptuck. With the elastic of your underwears. How do you say it?
The uptuck.
Uptuck. Here are some of the weirder flexes I receive from our listening audience. I can pop my ankles in and out of the socket.
Oh, weird. Oh.
I used to be able to do that with my wrist when I was younger, and it doesn't work anymore. Long name Little Wang Jesus. This is great. He says, my butt is so thick. Dudes do a double take at me.
That's awesome.
Your butt is just that thick. I can give myself goosebumps on command, says Slim Pickens Jesus.
Oh, wow.
I can plug my nose and blow air out my tear ducts.
Whoa,
says another listener.
Don't do that. That sounds unsafe.
I haven't missed a day drinking beer since 2000 plus 11. Whoa. Says another. I haven't taken too many days off. You know, it's interesting. It brings up a friend of mine brought this up not that long ago. You know, we're in our 50s now. And I don't know why he said this out loud, but he did, and I got a big kick out of it. He said, you know what occurred to me the other day? And I said, what? And he said, I've been getting as drunk as I possibly can every weekend since I was 17. And when he said it, I thought, yeah, you have. And damn, that's a long time. Every weekend. Another weird flex. A listener says he or she can juggle fire and real machetes.
Whoa, that rules.
Another listener says, I have no sense of smell.
Oh, that doesn't rule.
And the final of the weird flexes. And thank you for sending them in. It was really fun. It's always...
I love this.
So interesting to get to know people a little bit better. I can do the devil hand signal. Devil horns is what I was trying to find there, and I finally found it. Listener says, I can do the devil horn symbol with my toes.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
That's really cool. Single father Jesus can move his ears as a pair or one at a time.
Like
I bet your kid or kids would love that.
Now I'm trying to do it and I can't.
Man, yeah, that's one of those things. Again, you'd be a hero at school at certain ages. That's awesome. Yeah, thank you, everybody, for sharing some of these cool, weird flexes.
Good stuff.
Very good stuff.
The Half-Assed Morning Show backtracks.
Carjacking. All the kids are involved these days. In case you haven't watched the news lately, it's a crazy hot trend. And it's so strange, isn't it, Josh, the way carjacking returned with such a vengeance?
Yeah, I mean, you just didn't hear about it for so long.
In the early to mid-'90s, that's when carjacking, that's when that phrase was born.
And when did scumbags discover what a catalytic converter was?
Yeah, good question.
Now all the scumbags know about them.
All these years went by, didn't hear word one about carjacking, but now that's all the young people want to do is vape and carjack. That's all they want to do now.
It's so different. Like, your car stereo is safe. Where growing up in our generation, your car stereo's in trouble. You take the face off, you do everything. I mean, nowadays you can set your car, just take it out for them. They're not going to take it. They want that catalytic converter.
Right.
They eat them. Did you know that?
They eat them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
That's the new trend. Huh.
They tasty?
I've never had one.
Maybe it'll be at the Mother's Day brunches. They'll have a catalytic converter section.
Well, maybe I'll try half of one. I can't.
A little bit of a metallic taste.
I would think so.
The new record holders, as far as I know, for carjacking, 2 boys. One of them is 6 years old. The other is 3. They were busted a couple nights ago in, Malaysia. 6 and 3. And I imagine these 2 were going to lose their jobs over this.
In Malaysia? You might be right.
Yeah.
All right, I've been playing with you a little bit here. These 2 kids are 6 and 3 years old, but what they specifically did was swipe their own parents' car. Still impressive, just not as criminal as what I was throwing your way. These kids, brothers, 6 and 3, they crashed their folks' real car while they were driving to go buy a toy car. It was a late-night joyride that thankfully ended without anyone getting mangled. The two brothers were picked up by local police after losing control and crashing smooth into a lamppost.
I wonder how far they made it.
It says here, Cubby, 1.5 miles.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
They were headed to the mall to buy a new toy car. The cops said that they were driving a Toyota, as some of the older guys say it, that I know. They were driving a Toyota. They attracted the attention of other drivers because they assumed the driver was drunk.
Yeah, they had like a line of people following them.
Yeah, some citizens chose to follow them without knowing it was a 6 and a 3-year-old in there. They thought it was just your typical drunk driver, because I bet they had that vehicle wobbling a little bit as it went down the road.
Good thing they did.
The boys had snuck out the house while their mother was in the John and the old man was asleep, and that's when they upped and took their folks' vehicle. 1.5 miles before they wrapped the car around a light pole. 6-year-old was behind the wheel, and cops did find out he was intoxicated. No, I'm kidding. The 3-year-old was the navigator. Apparently, there's video of the boys talking to folks after the crash. You know, these folks that were following them down the road thinking they were a drunk adult walk up and find out, for Christ's sake, it's a kindergartner and his younger brother. There's video of the boys talking to folks after the crash. The kids said they wanted to go to a toy store to buy a model car. One of them even says, "Mama is at home and we are going to the store." The older boy had a little cut on his chin. The other kid was uninjured. But the cops are thinking of tossing a charge of reckless driving on these two little pot lickers. I bet the old man's pretty pumped about that, right, Josh?
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised they're going to do that.
Mom's like, oh my gosh, I can't even have 2 minutes in the bathroom.
At 6, you guys think you could start a car, get it, in reverse?
Nope.
And that's the impressive part.
How did he reach the pedals?
Well,
yeah, good question.
I don't know. Maybe he's an extraordinarily tall kid.
Maybe just tossed the 3-year-old down there.
I remember just in 3rd grade telling my dad, yeah, I could easily drive this thing. And he's like, oh really? You think you could drive this car? He's like, all right, how do you go in reverse? I'm like, well, easy. You just turn the wheel. And I thought that because in our drive or our garage, my dad would have to crank the wheel to get to the alley. Like he'd have to crank. So I assumed that's how you backed up. I'm an idiot. And this kid's 6.
At 6, I don't even think I could buy a model car.
Yeah, do they have money on them, do you think?
What are you talking about?
You're talking about getting the toy?
Yeah, they were going to the store to buy
These
a
are
model
criminals.
car.
They're clearly going to steal it.
Well, no 6-year-olds walking around with 20s in their pocket. I imagine
they might have grabbed some from mom and dad.
I think that was a detail that was left out of the story. They must have, been given an allowance recently. Or isn't it funny that that's what Wapple's focusing on with this story?
I love that. Thank you, Wapple.
You always seem to find
he's a big thinker.
Yeah,
you're a big thinker.
Yeah, I'm a detail guy.
Now, Dana, you asked if you think we could have started a car and driven it at 6. I don't know about starting it, but my brother and I should have been dead at 6 years old. The old man left when we were about 6, maybe even younger. Our old man left us in his running El Camino, Josh.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
And I'll tell you what, my dad's 81 years old, and pretty much once every couple of months, he still to this day brings up the regret of ever selling his El Camino.
I hear that a lot from guys around your dad's age. Like the cars they used to have.
Oh, damn. He could tell you every damn car he ever had and what he loved about. There's that noise again.
I'm not hearing it.
I heard it that time.
I heard it earlier. I didn't hear that one, though.
So my brother
What do you
and
mean
I...
by that one? We just caught you in a lie.
No, the one that you guys were referring to.
My brother and I were very, very young, maybe even under 6. And he left us in the running El Camino, and just dopey little kids, we started yanking on the gear shift. What does this do? What does that do? And we threw the pig into reverse. And we were backing up, completely helpless and clueless. We were rolling towards a busy highway. We would have certainly been killed or disabled. And our dad, luckily, saw us backing towards instant death. And I do have a memory of him diving through the open window to throw the vehicle into park or hit the brake. I can't remember what he did. But so there you go. At least we had that skill set. We were able to knock it into gear.
I remember that happened at one of the Average Joe car shows.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
That dude was the best athlete I've ever seen.
And his car, that would have went over. That was what, like a 4-foot drop?
Yeah.
And he hit a little kid in there.
Little kid accidentally hit the shifter and it started going in reverse.
Good memory,
Really?
dude.
Dad just jumped in there. You could see his legs kicking out the window.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that guy's a friggin' hero. I don't know
Super
how
dads.
he stopped that.
I haven't thought about that in years, Wapple. That was a dramatic moment. Okay, I have listeners texting in. Some are claiming they also heard something in the background when we were having this conversation. I guess we'll stay tuned to see if.
Did your folks let you guys play in the car? We used to play all the time.
Yep, I used to play teenagers, so we would sit in the car and pretend we were driving to the mall.
We'd be in there. You know, my folks, if they went to the mall, speaking of the mall, let's say they're in the mall, and they're like, all right, you guys can sit and play in the car, but we got to make sure we lock the doors and leave the windows rolled up in the middle of summer here so nobody kidnaps you. Nowadays, they'd be in jail.
Mm-hmm. So your parents never rolled up the windows or locked the doors when you were playing in the car?
No, they did.
They
is what
did.
I said.
Oh,
yeah.
and you could have cooked to death.
Easily.
Oh, Jesus.
There were times where I'm like, I've lost a lot of body weight waiting for mom and dad here.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, we
hot car
didn't
was
care.
So better than the store, though, sometimes.
Oh, way better.
What's that?
That hot car was so much better than having to go into the store sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not joking about that type of thing, obviously.
Oh, sure,
I'm just saying,
sure.
like, you know, back then it was just so different. And I wonder now if, let's say, a kid puts it in gear and hits another car, how much, are there legal ramifications or what's it? Back then, I don't think there would have been.
Yeah, wait in the car. That statement was probably one of the top 10 things I ever heard my parents say growing up. Wait in the car. Wait in the car. Absolutely, we could play in the car. And there was some fun to be had when mom and dad would go in my folks' case, it was usually a bar. You know, hang out here while we have a couple. And there was fun to be had playing in the car, but I loved when they let us come into the bar with them. It was so much fun to hear the adults saying adult things, you know, and things. And the old man would let us play the jukebox or let us try to play pool. Maybe it's part of why I enjoy a bar scene so much. At a very young age, we were allowed to kind of experience it. So,
boy, I still like just to sit in the car. I don't know, from back in the maybe. Yeah. Just residuals?
Well, yeah, but nowadays it's more of a. Did you do this as a child? Because I've seen you sit in the car. It's a lot of rocking and crying.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
I have a serious problem.
A lot
with
of
that.
screaming. Why? You know.
Yeah, Ashley sits in the car for like hours at a time when she gets somewhere.
Yeah,
rocking, crying.
Especially when I get home from work, because I think part of it is because I know that when I get in, I've got dogs to take care of, and I'll just sit there on my phone. Next thing I know, it's been an hour and a half, and I'm like, okay, need to get out of the car now.
You know, it's so much so that happened where you made me very concerned. It's been a long time since I've really been on Twitter, but I saw you tweet about it, that you've been sitting in the car for a long time.
What's going on at home?
And I just chill. I don't know. I get comfy.
I called Dana. And I was like, is she okay, man? Why is she home just sitting in her car?
Is that why you texted me that day?
Yeah, because I was...
we were both mutually concerned. Like, well, I can't remember who was concerned, but we both saw the tweet. I was like, what God? What's going on with her?
I was like, nah, I'm just weird.
Like, do we need to talk to her?
That's what I thought. I thought something was terribly wrong.
It's just my favorite place to be. I love being in my car.
Yeah, she'll sometimes sit in the parking lot, too, after work. She'll be out there for a little bit.
I'll be in here doing stuff, and she'll have taken off, and I go out there, she's still just sitting in her car. I remember one time I tap on the window, I'm like, are you all right? And she's like, yeah, why wouldn't I be?
Never better.
I'm in my happy place.
The dogs are in the house waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. You see, that's why cats are where it's at.
Yeah, true.
The Half-Assed Morning Show backtracks.
Janelle Klein is in studio. The wonderful Janelle Klein. Janelle, have you been enjoying the warm weather?
Oh, I love it.
You do?
I do. It cannot get hot enough for me. I like it.
Gross.
My wife and I, we joke that we're going to retire in different states.
Because you hate it?
I do not like heat. by any means, and she absolutely loves. Like you said, she could. I mean, if she could, she'd live on the sun.
Yeah.
She just loves it hot.
Yeah, I do too.
My boyfriend's AC went out in his truck. She's like a couple weeks ago, and he finally got it fixed last week, and so his mood was getting better. I was so happy for him, and it went out again 2 days ago, and I am just like terrified to be around him.
Oh, he gets a little cranky in the heat.
Oh yeah, I mean I would too. If I was him, I wouldn't be able to function.
Does he work outdoors?
No, but he drives around quite a bit for his job. So.
Gotcha.
I never use air conditioning in my vehicle. It's going to be a hot day today. It's been hot lately. You guys know the story, too. Last summer at the state fair, it was hot. It's always hot at the damn state fair. I was with a lady friend, and I was also with my sister and her daughter, Rudy, my niece, I think is the word you use for her. And I took my shirt off because of the heat, and I was soundly chastised for this. I was shocked by the negative reaction.
By strangers or by your family members?
By my family members.
Oh.
And the lady friend that I had with me. They were soundly against this. They gasped in horror. Yeah, and the kid, Rudy, even said, she said this, "Is that even legal?" My nipples were called aggressive. It was horrible. But I was shocked because, like I've told you before, I spent most of my summer days as a young guy shirtless. Especially in high school and into my 20s. In the summer, my buddies and I, none of us wore shirts. For the most part, it was because I grew up in a garbage house with no air conditioning, but it's looked at now, tell me if I'm wrong, it's looked at now as like a redneck low-class thing to do nowadays, to remove, for a dude to remove his shirt.
Yeah, I'd say people feel that way.
I mean, I even catch hell for being a sleeveless t-shirt guy. Almost all of my t-shirts are sleeveless, and I still, every once in a while, someone will make a comment to me as if it's a low-class redneck thing to do.
Same with wife beaters, too. The white shirts.
I love that you started by calling them wife beaters. Enough said.
Yeah.
yeah.
True.
If you're not being a dick, Wapple, that's just called a tank top.
Yeah, a lot of people call them tank tops, but your feelings came out on that, I guess. Yeah, I'm tired of this wife beater stigma.
So, Janelle, let's say you would have been in my state fair party last summer. Would you have? What would you have thought if I just upped and took the shirt off? Do you think that's kind of redneck, kind of low class? Is it gross?
I mean, I will say you don't see it a lot in like public places, right?
Yeah, not anymore.
I guess I've never
used to see it a lot.
Yeah.
I probably would have asked if it was legal, too.
You would have asked if it was a legal thing to do.
Yeah, like if you're allowed to be shirtless at, out in a public place like that, yeah.
Here's the deal. The Star Tribune newspaper, they had a conversation with an etiquette expert. Her name is Juliet Mitchell. On the topic of shirtlessness for dudes. Should men go shirtless in summer? When is it okay? When is it not? All right? The do's and don'ts, maybe you might say, for going shirtless, bros. Let's roll through this. At a beach, pool, or on a boat?
I'd hope so.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, there's some obvious information here. At a beach, pool, or on a boat.
If there's a big enough puddle, go for it.
Yeah. Some just being near any type of body of water might be enough to ditch the shirt. She says, this etiquette expert, taking off your shirt at the beach or pool is fine because you might be jumping into the drink. You can feel fine taking off your shirt on a friend's boat, but maybe not at a backyard barbecue. That's it. That's at least the thoughts of this etiquette expert. Maybe not at the barbecue. Working out. How many of you just work out?
Occasionally.
Yeah, sometimes.
It's pretty common for dudes to exercise without a shirt on to try and stay cool in warm weather. When you're running shirtless outdoors, spectators will only see you for a moment. That's not the case if you're exercising in a gym. So how many of you go to an indoor gym type of a scene?
I do.
Yep.
And do you see, are there dudes on the what do they call that thing that Josh walks on?
Treadmill?
Yeah, do you see guys on the treadmill?
ice?
Every once in a while.
I've never seen them go shirtless, but there are the guys that they're barely wearing a shirt. You know, they have it. It's not just a sleeveless. Like the sides are cut out, and it's kind of cut down the chest. You're barely wearing a shirt at this point. Just take it all the way off.
See, that doesn't bother me because I can't say like, oh, you're barely wearing a shirt, because if I'm a sweater. You guys know this. So like I am that person that will get down to like a sports bra and spandex in the gym. And so I'm like, well, I'm basically wearing like nothing. So
I'm sure that angers.
Now guys are going to try to figure out what gym Ashley goes to.
All of them. I go to all
angers
of them.
a lot of the guys at the gym. So no one has a problem with a dude taking his shirt off at the gym.
Nah.
No, doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Do you? It's hot in there.
At sporting events.
Are they playing?
Yeah. What are you talking about? Are they playing?
No, the ones with their shirts
The person
off.
with the shirt off.
That
does make a
Because
difference.
then, yes.
I feel like you only see that when they paint their chest or like they do something, right?
Yeah. Or they're trying to be macho when it's, negative 20 degrees and they're showing how tough they are by going shirtless.
No,
I actually kind of like that move.
I have seen it at the Twins game. You get the people in the upper deck, and they're just blazing in the sun.
Oh,
on a
yeah.
hot day.
Yeah. I can
You
see
see,
that.
so much has changed. Like you guys said, it seems to you they only do that if they're drawing a logo on their chest, or what was the other example? They're trying to be tough guys in the 20 below. But when I was a kid, going to Twins games, there were dudes that, even at the old Metrodome, because it was the air conditioning wasn't so good in the joint. If you wanted to see multiple drunken dudes in jean shorts and no shirts, all you had to do in the 80s was go to a Twins Brewers series at the old Metrodome. It was just loaded, and a lot of guys had mustaches back then. So here's the deal. You go to an outdoor game, it's a little warm out. Here in town, the U of M's Huntington Bank Stadium, the joint where the soccer team plays and the joint where the Saints play, they don't have policies on male shirtlessness. So if you go to a game, it's a little hot, they can't throw you out.
I've been to several Saints games. I've never seen a shirtless dude.
It's just not like it used to be.
Even on some of the really hot days.
And again, I think it's because suddenly there's this image that if you are a man and you remove your shirt in a situation like a ball game on a nice sunny day, or at the gym, or I think people look at you sideways. They think it's low class or redneck.
I am curious when that changed, because even when I was in middle school and early in high school, I hung out with this group of boys. We're always outside, and like 2 or 3 of them were always shirtless. And I never thought it was weird. It was just a normal thing to do. But now I think if I was at a Twins game and a guy walked by me without a shirt, I'd probably double take.
Yeah.
It seems like it went reverse. Women are kind of wearing less clothes, and men are wearing more.
That's miserable. I hate
I see
today.
you there, Waffle. Yeah, I get it.
You ever see anybody? You ever see a dude lose the shirt at the rock concert?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You usually stay away from those guys.
Yeah, because they're usually stumbling.
Apparently, they're according to a lady who is at First Avenue by the name of Ashley Ryan. They say if you're compelled to take off your shirt, at least at a First Avenue concert. They don't have a rule about guys going topless, but they say common sense says you should only do it at a show where a thing like that would be appropriate.
Like if the Chili Peppers played there or something.
Yeah, none of those guys are wearing a shirt. Or who are the other shirtless bands? Blink-182. Online dating apps. A recent survey showed that men with shirtless photos on dating apps get 25% fewer matches.
Yeah, don't do that.
I guess I could see that. I mean, it does seem kind of weird that you'd want to post that.
If it's a mirror pic or a selfie, that's extra weird. You might get a pass if you're hanging out with like your dude friends at a lake. And,
what if you have a fish?
Oh, God. See, I'm different, though. I'm a sucker for the fish pictures.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ashley. If you're like out at a lake and something like that, where it makes sense.
Yeah.
So here's something I wasn't aware of. I mentioned that in my mind, at least, there's a negative connection to a guy going shirtless, and I've been saying my assumption is that people, it's not just an assumption because I've heard comments, my thought on it is that it's looked at as redneck or low class. I didn't think of this. I'd never heard of this as far as the online dating apps thing. Or just it is specifically to the online dating apps. Women see a shirtless photo as a sign of immaturity in men.
Yeah.
If they're taking their shirt off and putting it up on their dating app.
Yeah, I guess I kind of even go that way.
Immaturity.
Like kind of frat boyish.
Yeah, exactly. That's the vibe they give off. Mm-hmm.
I still remember every single detail of when I learned about the dangers of shirts and skins basketball.
What are they?
Dude. This is one of those moments that I can't forget. Now, I know this was played out in a Ben Stiller movie sometime in the late 90s, but this happened to me way before there was a Ben Stiller. This was when I was in high school. Me and a buddy used to like to go to the YMCA in our neighborhood and play hoops. And there was one of these overly serious pickup games happening, right? And they were playing shirts versus skins. And they asked my buddy and I, 17-year-old kids, they needed a couple of guys, do you guys want to play? And we said yes. And I regret that to this day. Because, like I said, these were the overly serious guys. I was on the shirts team. My buddy joined the skins team, no shirts. And they were real serious about setting picks and screens and things that we played plenty of basketball by the time we were 17 years old, but no one set serious picks or screens in our group. At this YMCA pickup game, they were doing everything like it was on the NBA channel. And I'm chasing this guy with the basketball, and the biggest, sweatiest son of a bitch is waiting there for me to set a pick. And I slapped into this dude. There was a splash sound.
There are people texting in on that at concerts that they don't like sliding off greasy, sweaty guys.
I can totally understand that because this dude had been playing pickup basketball for about an hour and a half before we joined. He is pouring sweat. I ain't kidding you, Janelle Klein. I remember the sensation of his nipple in my mouth.
No!
I mean,
was it salty?
Oh, he was. I mean, I was soaked from slapping into this idiot who insisted on setting this Karl Malone serious ass pick on me. I never saw him standing there just right into his areola. God, I quit immediately. I'm not playing. That sucked.
See, I could see that at the gym, like how you guys are talking about guys taking their shirts off. I mean, I don't think it's as much like offensive to see as it is like, then do you have somebody sweating all over people around him?
Yeah, I suppose.
Right?
Yeah,
I
hear
thinking
you.
like the hygienic aspect of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why don't they make you towel off if you're laying on the bench press for an hour and you're sweating all over it? You gotta wipe it down.
Some people don't do that though.
Oh, I've seen arguments in the gym over that.
Oh yeah, I'd be that type. Yeah. Gross.
We've been talking about dudes going shirtless. It's not really a thing anymore. It used to be, but now it seems like when a dude takes his shirt off out at the ball game or at the fair or something, everybody runs for their lives. Josh, have you considered going shirtless during sex with the wife?
No, not at all.
Never once?
Both of us. It's kind of something we both feel is important, just to leave that on.
Understandable.
She thinks it's important, too, for you to keep it on.
I mean, you probably remember when one of those work trips where we went to Jamaica.
Sure.
People were giving me crap, even though I was, at the time, Janelle, I was jacked.
Really?
True story, yeah.
You were yoked.
And I didn't want it. I was too uncomfortable.
What do you mean people were
Nick
giving you crap?
For leaving my shirt on. And Nick's like, I've never seen an in-shape guy more scared to take his shirt off than you.
You know, you had to be there maybe. But, by the way, am I going to get hollered at if we don't get to this right now?
Oh, no, we got time.
We do have time. You had to be there, but we were in Jamaica, And one particular afternoon, everybody kind of gathered in a little, it wasn't a hot tub because it was 115 degrees. It was some kind of a cool tub. It wasn't a pool. It was like a hot tub, only it was cold water. And me and 3-4 other employees of the building were sitting in this cool tub in Jamaica. And Josh is walking around, socializing with us, but you wouldn't get into the damn pool. We kept saying, jump into the stinking cool pool or whatever the hell you call it. And you wouldn't, you were nervous about it. Finally, you agreed. And he takes off his shirt, and he looked like he was on the cover of Men's Health magazine. Abs yoked, lats bumping, biceps thumping. You were. But to this day, I have never seen a more uncomfortable look on a grown person's face.
Oh, I sunk under the water. Yeah, I don't know why.
We were all a collection of skinny, pasty, white, ugly-looking Midwesterners, and here comes Josh, looking like flipping Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
And you were so shy about it. We were busting his balls pretty good. Why are you so?
It makes me love him even more because he's
that's
so
good.
humble.
Right.
And you would never ever expect him to show off ever.
We gave him later on
pathetic.
we gave him the most incredible Snuggie you'd ever seen. We were picking on him all afternoon. We gave him a Snuggie. All right. I promised we were going to talk more about the hot weather and this and that, but we've run out of time. Maybe we can get to this tomorrow. Gooch grease is the topic. Maybe we can cover that tomorrow.
Are you bummed you're going to miss that?
I don't know what that is.
Good.
Wap will show her.
All right.
No.
Do you want to be involved in our conversation on Gooch grease, or should we do that tomorrow when you're...
Go ahead, because I'm guessing I don't want to be involved.
All right.
Really?
Have you heard of swamp ass?
Do I have to put that in the Google machine or what?
No. Gooch grease? Yeah, why not?
What if I said swamp ass? Do you know what that means?
Generally, I
Okay.
guess.
All right. There's similar.
The men in my family, we're known for our butt sweat. I don't know, honestly, I don't know what it is, but it's just we have a lot of sweat glands in that area.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93 Eric.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Stay cool with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Beat the heat now and ensure comfort all summer long. Their expert technicians are ready to ensure your AC is in top shape. Call and schedule a tune-up today at 612-824-2656 or online at standardheating.com.